I met Emily 3 years ago on a rainy Tuesday evening in downtown Chicago. She was in a bookstore cafe, reading a copy of The Art of War and sipping black coffee. She wore a cream trench coat, her hair in a bun, and round glasses that gave her the kind of elegance I didn't think still existed. We locked eyes for just a moment, and that was it. Fate had spoken. I was a marketing analyst at a mid-sized firm. Quiet life. Straightforward. I had never really believed in love at first sight until her. She was everything I wasn't. Bold, mysterious, intellectually sharp. She worked in cybersecurity at a private firm. I didn't understand most of what she did, but I loved hearing her talk about it. We dated for 11 months before I proposed. Our wedding was simple, close friends, family, and just enough sunlight peeking through the clouds to make it feel magical. Life with Emily was bliss. She cooked gourmet meals, kept our apartment spotless, and always had a book recommendation that made me think. She was thoughtful and kind, and even remembered the anniversary of my late mother's death, baking her famous lemon pie each year. But in our third year of marriage, everything began to change. It started subtly. She would get phone calls at strange hours, then leave the room. Once at 3 a.m., I found her whispering on the balcony. When I asked, she said it was her friend Mia going through a divorce. Then there was her laptop. She never let me near it. I remember asking, "Why is your laptop always locked?" She smiled and replied, "It's a work thing. Into stuff. You understand, right?" I did. At least, I thought I did. One night, she came home late, well past midnight, and looked shaken, pale, sweaty. I asked if she was okay. "Rough night at work," she mumbled and kissed me on the cheek. "Let's talk in the morning." But she never wanted to talk. 3 weeks later, I accidentally opened her laptop. She had left it charging in the living room while she showered. The screen lit up. No password prompt. She must have forgotten to lock it. At first, I hesitated. But curiosity is a dangerous thing. The desktop had just one folder. Bloom. I clicked it. Inside were dozens of encrypted files and a few unencrypted PDFs. One was a wire transfer record to a bank in the Cayman Islands. Another was a scanned passport photo of a man I didn't recognize, labeled "Client Neutralized." The third document made my blood run cold. Operation Emerald. Active target acquired. Code name E. Emily. I heard the bathroom door open. I quickly closed the laptop, heart pounding. My hands were shaking. "Hey, babe," she said, walking out in a towel. "Did you see my phone?" I forced a smile. Nope, didn't see it. That night, I couldn't sleep. My wife, my Emily, was involved in something dangerous. Criminal. The next day at work, I couldn't concentrate. Emily's files haunted my mind. Who was neutralized? What was Operation Emerald? Was Emily some kind of spy? Or something worse? That evening, I faked being sick and left work early. I planned to confront her, but not without answers. I drove to her office, a towering glass building with private security at every corner. But when I asked the receptionist if I could leave something for Emily Carter, she frowned. "We don't have anyone by that name here, sir." "What?" "She works in cybersecurity, floor 14, right?" "There is no floor 14, she replied calmly. "This building only has 12. I left, heart pounding. Back home, I found her already there, cooking steak and listening to jazz like nothing was wrong. "You got off early?" she asked casually. "Yeah. You okay? You seem tired lately." "I'm fine," she said, forcing a smile. But I wasn't. Something was deeply wrong, and I was living in the middle of it. That night, while she showered again, I installed a location tracker on her car. I hated myself for it, but I needed to know. 3 nights later, it paid off. At 11:47 p.m., she left home. I followed her location on my phone as she drove 25 minutes northwest, stopping at an abandoned warehouse near the edge of the city. I drove there quietly, parking a block away, heart thudding. I watched her step out, dressed all in black, and enter the warehouse. Through my binoculars, I saw three men waiting. One of them handed her a silver briefcase. She opened it, nodded, and passed him a folder in return. Who was she working for? I recorded the scene from afar and left before she saw me. The next morning, I called someone I never thought I would. My old college roommate, Liam, who now worked for the FBI. Her name's not Emily Carter, Liam said the next day after reviewing my footage and laptop screenshots. What are you talking about? Her real name is Elena Varga. She's on a watch list. No charges yet, but suspected in laundering, arms smuggling, even cyber infiltration. She's smart. Disappears every few years. Changes her identity. You're married to one of the most wanted ghost criminals in the system. I felt my knees weaken. I can't believe this, I whispered. So, what do I do? We can't move unless we have hard evidence she's actively involved. But you, he paused. You're in danger. They gave me a choice. Cooperate or walk away. I couldn't walk away. I needed the truth. So I agreed to help the FBI monitor her. I became a spy. On my own wife. Over the next week, I recorded everything, her calls, movements, laptop activity. Emily had become colder, more distant. One night, she sat on the balcony alone, crying. Part of me still loved her. I watched her from the doorway and whispered, "You okay?" She wiped her eyes. Just tired. She reached for my hand, and I almost pulled away, but didn't. Was any of this real? Had she ever truly loved me? That night, while she slept, I found a hidden USB in her purse. Inside were copies of classified government data and a note with names and account numbers. Evidence. I gave it to the FBI. They prepared for arrest. The morning of the operation, Liam called. We moved tonight. I got home early and tried to act normal. But Emily could feel it. What's wrong with you today? She asked, cutting vegetables. I stared at her. Why are you lying to me? She froze. What are you talking about? I know who you are, Elena. She turned pale. The knife dropped. I saw the files. The warehouse. I know everything. She backed away slowly. You don't understand. You used me. No, she snapped. I tried to leave that life. I really loved you. But they wouldn't let me go. I'm in too deep. The front door slammed open. FBI agents rushed in.
Hands in the air, they shouted. Emily looked at me one last time, tears in her eyes, before they cuffed her. As she passed me, she whispered, I was going to tell you. After one last job, it's been 6 months since that night. Emily Elena was sentenced to 12 years after a plea deal. She gave up 3 names from her network. The FBI said my help stopped a major cyber attack on a U.S. energy grid. People called me a hero, but it didn't feel like a victory. I still remember the smell of her perfume in our home, the way she laughed at old sitcoms, the lemon pie she learned to bake from my mom's recipe. I loved her. Maybe I still do, but the truth is a dangerous thing, and even perfect love can be built on lies.